Your Holiness, Banu Nara Simhan, our wonderful host, leaders, members of parliament, speakers, women of the world. It is wonderful to be here, wonderful to be among the opening speakers today. It is a privilege for me and for my colleagues. Thank you. I'm Aliza Lavie, and I'm standing here before you as an educator, a champion of women's rights, a parliamentarian, a grandmother, a mother, and above all, a woman. As women, we recognize that our very fabric of being is woven from a multitude of different threads, all of which come together to form an almost unbreakable thread of purpose when we are faced with adversity. It is women who for time immemorial have set about reconstructing lives after disaster, or have instilled phenomenal changes in perception about how we should live our lives and society should be organized. It is women who have cherished tradition and culture whenever they may be and whatever culture they belong to. And it is women who have passed this tradition from breath to breath. Suffice to say that here in the beautiful ashram, we are truly privileged to hear each other's stories and experience, to talk to women from all over the world, and to learn from each other. Numerous academic research has proven that women are able to put aside their pride and ego in order to coexist, the work together towards a common goal, and that women have the flexibility and strength to achieve real change in our society and to follow new paths following life-changing events. One such event happened to me after meeting a woman who had become both bereft of her child and her parent in a terrorist attack. Her tragedy shook me to such an extent that I thought to find a meaning in my prayers and liturgies as our integral part of my everyday life as an Orthodox Jew. This led me to research the subject and ultimately write this homepage to women's prayers, a collection of spiritual prayers written by women for women, which I would like to present to you today in thanks and appreciation for this wonderful event. It is our ability as women to tune into the unique pitch of the women's voice, to understand the exact timbre of a woman's needs, that makes our prayers in any language and in any religion so meaningful and so universal. I'm proud to be part of a democratically elected parliament in Israel, where we have the largest proportion of women representative in its history. You are 27 in the parliament, and many key positions held by women in my country. In the government, in a national banking system, ministers, women are directors, a hospital, a Nobel Prize, and more than that. But perhaps the most important part of my life at this juncture is as a chair of the Committee for Gender Equality, Status of Women, where we are working very hard to improve the rights of women in every sphere of life. We fight to improve equality in every sector of society, to eradicate the abuse of women in so many different areas, from domestic abuse, trafficking in women, educational inequality to inequality in the workplace. We work to improve women to feel that they are able to forget new paths whenever they may be and in whatever profession they chose. We are seeking through the full and lifelike medium of legislation to illumination. And today I would like to address you all on the themes of light, with the candles here, and how we together can use it to shine tremendous light on our fellow men and help to illuminate the very darkest parts of our society. Our culture is a culture of parables and vectors to illustrate precepts and ideology. So I will tell you a short story to tell you what I'm meaning. There is a famous Jewish folk tale of a farmer who wanted to leave his fortune to one of his 3 children. But before he chose which one was worthy of the fortune, he led them to the burn on the edge of their farm and told them that whosoever managed to fill the burn from top to bottom, from left to right, and not leave even a space for a single knife blade, and I will see nothing but darkness, will inherit his fortune. The first son toiled for 3 days and nights and filled the burn with bricks from floor to ceiling, from left to right. There was not a single part of the bus which was not full of bricks, and you could only see darkness. Along came the farmer, opened his pocket knife and inserted it between the bricks, and a cheek of light came through the piles of bricks. "No, my son," he said, "you have not filled the burn." And so the second son toiled for 4 days and 4 nights to fill the berth with straw, and he pushed and pushed the straw into the building until surely there was no room to sleep in a knife, and surely no cheeks of light, just darkness. The farmer came along and sliced through the straw with his knife and said the same words to his son. "No, my son, you have not filled the burn." The third child came along, and his brother laughed at her and said, "What are you going to do what we have not done? You are just a girl." And the girl took out a match and candle and went boldly into the dark burn. And she struck the match and lit her candle. The entire burn was lit by a light. There was no place to insert a knife, no darkness, just light everywhere. Today is Friday, and according to a Jewish ritual, candles are lit to signal the start of Shabbat, the day of rest, where no light may be struck and no work may be done. This lighting of a candle signals an end of work for 24 hours, but the illumination of our souls with the sense of peace and tranquility of the day of rest. And according to the Kabbalah, the book of Jewish mystic, it is the very act of lighting a candle that is specially given to women to remind us of the very act of creation. And then there was light on the first day. According to the monastic tradition, God created light and darkness, and light was given to women. In all faith, there is a special relationship between prayer and light, where individual and the time of lighting, that light has the opportunity to transfigure his personal prayer through the magic that is light. And this evening, we would like to invite you all of us women from all faiths and beliefs, to be untied and perception in candle lighting to usher in the honors of the Shabbat. A time to be aware of closeness of our fellow women, who everywhere they may be, at the same honest of darkness of the eve of the Shabbat. Light are the same candles wherever they may be, whoever they may be, just because they are the same women. Thank you very much.